Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Finally, a break from storm chances as lower humidity makes its presence felt on this Monday. We'll show you how long that break in humidity and storm chances lasts coming up.
Mass shooting. The search for suspects this morning after one person was killed and 12 others injured at a house party in North Carolina.
And firearms at RDU. Today we expect to learn about a recent increase of guns found at security checkpoints at the airport. The security concerns for the TSA. 4:30 the time right now as we get a work week started here on our Monday morning. Glad you're with us. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. How is it Monday already? And how is it June?
Yeah.
We are halfway through 2025.
Not bad.
My goodness. Well, time flies when you're having fun, I suppose. Chris Michaels is in for Elizabeth this morning. And what a fabulous feel it is out there right now.
It really feels very nice out there, guys. Good morning, especially after some of those storms we had yesterday evening. Dew point, the measure of mugginess, if you will, it's in the 50s, so it's starting out nice and comfortably this morning. Take us outside for your morning cup of coffee. Temperatures will be in the upper 50s early this morning. We'll be in the mid 60s by about 9 o'clock. Things feeling very nice out there. Sunny and warm for your Monday. Severe clear with temperatures ranging between about 78 and 82 degrees. Sanford, Southern Pines, and Durham, you're high in the sweet spot right at about 80 degrees. Air quality is good today. It's moderate tomorrow due to some wildfire smoke that's being brought in from Canada. I'll show you how that's going to affect our weather and some of the nice sunsets it was causing last night from your viewer pictures coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks, Chris. More than 24 hours after a house party turned into a mass shooting in Catawba County, authorities are looking for the shooters. Here's what we know this morning. One man was killed, 11 others are hurt. The victim has been identified as 58-year-old Sean Hood of Lenore. Now, authorities say several shooters opened fire at that party near Hickory, leaving behind 80 shell casings spread over 2 acres. The sheriff's office, as well as SBI and FBI agents, were still on that scene last night.
The people of North Carolina should be able to enjoy a spring evening.
Officials say deputies were called to the party just 2 hours before the shooting for a noise complaint. 7 people are still in the hospital. Some were shot, others were hurt trying to escape. Anyone with information is urged to call 911 or reach out to the FBI.
8 people were hurt in what the FBI is calling a targeted terror attack in Boulder, Colorado. Police arrested 45-year-old Mohammed Solomon. They say he used a makeshift flamethrower to attack people participating in a peaceful pro-Israel demonstration. They say he yelled "Free Palestine" during the attack. Witnesses say they were shaken up by the whole ordeal.
But he was just screaming, and he had like a container or like a glass with gasoline in it, I'm assuming, and he was just kind of holding that, waving around, and I was also just thinking like, oh my God, I don't know what he's gonna do next.
The victims range in age from 67 to 88, and the injuries run from minor to serious. Officials believe Solomon acted alone.
The TSA says they've seized more guns at RDU security checkpoints in recent weeks. Today, they plan to share more information about how these incidents affect travelers. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is at the airport this morning. And Kelsey, there's a legal way to travel by air with firearms.
Yes, Jeff, there is, and TSA officials say that they are noticing that more people are bringing guns here to the security checkpoint. But it's listed here that guns are a prohibited item before folks even get into the check-in line. So this morning, we're asking for an update on what those numbers look like and find some answers about how TSA is working to keep you safe. So just as a reminder, people can travel with guns, but there are some rules. They must be unloaded and locked in a hard-sided case in a checked bag. You also have to tell your airline that you have a gun at the check-in counter. We reported about firearms at TSA checkpoints back in January. So here are some numbers from 2024. North Carolina TSA officers found 250 firearms at airports statewide. That's 12 more than what was found the year before. Today, we'll ask TSA officials how many have been found here at RDU. So we'll be sure to keep you updated on when we hear from them this morning at 9:30. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live at RDU.
A deadline today for Cumberland County residents. The county tax administration is letting people know that today is the last day to apply for a number of tax relief programs. This comes as the county recently saw increases in property tax values. Many of the programs impact seniors, veterans, and people with disabilities. Applications must be sent by mail or filed in person at the county tax office.
Raleigh City Council is hammering out the budget this week. Council will hold a work session today before giving people a chance to provide feedback. A public hearing is scheduled for tomorrow night at 7 p.m.
Starting today, Johnson County residents will get the chance to make public comments on how their tax dollars are spent. The Board of Commissioners is hosting a public hearing this morning at the Johnson County Courthouse to discuss the budget. That meeting is scheduled to start at 10 a.m. There will also be a meeting tonight at 6 and next Monday at the same time. Commissioners anticipate adopting the budget by June 16th.
Chapel Hill police are asking for your help finding a missing teenage girl. 15-year-old Caden Shelton was last seen Friday evening in the area of Formosa Lane. At the time, she was wearing a black shirt with pink lettering, black shorts, and a pink backpack. Anyone with information should call 911 or contact Chapel Hill police.
Back-to-back false alarms, from fireworks to a suspicious package. Durham's South Point Mall reopened after 2 days of fear-inciting situations. On Friday, fireworks were set off near the mall, sending people into a panic. And Saturday, a metal suitcase left in the bathroom at Nordstrom prompted a bomb squad response. Sunday, the mall reopened. Shoppers told WRAL today that they are thankful these calls are taken seriously and refuse to allow this to make them live in fear.
You can't stop things you enjoy doing, like coming to the mall, eating on Sundays, walking the mall.
We've reached out to Durham police asking several questions, including if people involved in both incidents could face charges. We have not heard back at this time.
Happening today in Durham, the third annual Juneteenth flag raising ceremony is taking place. It starts at 11:30 this morning outside the Durham County Courthouse. It's a meaningful tribute to Black freedom and history, featuring the Montford Point Marines and community leaders. All are welcome to join this powerful moment of unity and remembrance.
A major soccer tournament is preparing to kick off in Wake County. WRAL's Laura Levine is live in Cary to preview TST, which stands for the soccer tournament. Laura, good morning.
Renee, good morning. The Wake Med Soccer Park is preparing to welcome huge crowds here this week for the third TST. And check it out here. We're counting down now 2 days and 8 hours until the big event where $1 million is on the line. Check out some video from previous events here at the Wake Med Soccer Park for the TST. We know that this is a very high stakes event. The event features music, food, games, exclusive meet and greets, celebrities, and 134 game-winning goals over 6 days. The TST generates about $9.2 million in economic impact for our region. Part owner and San Antonio Spurs point guard Chris Paul tells us this year we can expect 134 matches with 64 teams and tons of competitiveness.
What's cool about the TST is me walking by too as a fan and talking to other fans of where are you from and why are you here? See, a lot of people are fans of a lot of these teams that are in a total different country. And even though they'll never be able to go see that team in that country, they can come see them at the TST. They can come support them there at the TST. And I think that's what's been really cool.
It really is cool. So this morning, there's actually a media availability, and we're going to be able to hear from some of these teams competing, and that includes the NC Courage. They're also involved in all of the matches, of course, this week. We also want to tell you that day one of the high-stakes event begins on Wednesday. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Cary.
A new toll road in Wake County. Local leaders have signed off, but now the legislature wants to stop the plan. Capitol Boulevard is one of the busiest roads in Raleigh. It's also more than a decade overdue for widening. Raleigh and Wake Forest leaders say the only way to afford the billion-dollar price tag is to turn part of Capitol Boulevard into a toll road. The State House recently voted to ban them from doing that. Is it a case of the legislature sticking up for working-class families, or meddling in local decisions. You can find more on the debate at WRAL.com.
11 people were hurt in a mass stabbing at a men's shelter in Oregon. It happened last night at Union Gospel Mission in Salem. Police have a man in custody. Authorities have not released any information about that man or the people who were stabbed. Coming up next, paying more. Your homeowner's insurance is going up. How much more you'll be shelling out and what the extra money will be used for.
Closing down. More than 100 acres of bike trails in Wake County have been shut down permanently. How cyclists are reacting and what officials are trying to do to make up for the lost space.
Warmer temperatures on the way for this week after rounds of storms last week just wouldn't quit. This is a live look right now. Downtown Cary Park. Meteorologist Chris Michaels is back after the break with the latest timing for the forecast.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
4:44 this morning, starting out with a great shot of that sunset last night, thanks to Pam Rooker. And for some of you, you may have noticed just that odd appearance to how the sun looked. It all has to do with wildfire smoke that's being brought in from Western Canada. Sometimes it can filter out the sun and give it that eerie look. So you may see that around sunrise this morning. The hazy sky, it continues today. Air quality considered moderate heading into tomorrow, which means if you're like unusually sensitive, you may want to limit some time outdoors. But for the rest of you, I think you're good to go. Temperatures so far this morning in and around the Triangle, 58 to 62. Garner, Knightdale, Rollsville at 60 degrees. Apex is at 59. Zebulon at 58. Great morning for a workout outside. Even by midday, we're in the mid 70s with highs in the low 80s. We'll show you how long this comfortable will feel less coming up.
Chris, thank you. 136 acres of trails at Lake Crabtree Park in Wake County are now officially closed. Hundreds of mountain bikers were out on the trails for that final day. The Raleigh-Durham International Airport leased this land to Wake County for $1 a year for public use. RDU has said the terms of the lease no longer comply with federal regulations, which require the airport authority to charge fair market value for the land. That lease is set to expire on June 30th. Advocates for the park are still pushing for a different outcome.
I think they should just come out and see the beauty of this place and see how many people rely on this place and how many people enjoy this place every day. It's a great place and it would really suck for it to just be a bunch of concrete.
The exact plans for this area remain unclear, but early plans from RDU say it will be an entertainment district. Wake County says it intends to build new bike trails nearby to help make up for the loss at Lake Crabtree. Those plans are still in the works.
Homeowners insurance is on the rise, and the average North Carolinian will end up paying roughly $243 more per year. That increase has been fueled by losses from severe weather and higher rebuilding costs. WRAL's Heidi Kirk spoke with people all across the Triangle who are tightening their budget because of this increase.
Gordon Downey is picking up groceries from Harris Teeter in Raleigh. He says he'll need to be a little more conscious of what he's spending here going forward, with a 7.5% homeowners insurance hike on the way.
Well, it's something to consider every month, just shopping here twice a week, you think about it.
Raleigh-based Guardian Service analyzed how premium hikes would hit homeowners just like Gordon. Here in Raleigh, after the increase, the average annual premium would be just north of $3,400, according to Guardian. That's still less than the statewide average.
We're inland enough that we're not right on the coast, and we're far enough away from the mountains again. So it's we're kind of in between. But at the end of the day, it's still expensive.
He says coastal counties will really feel the sting. First up 16% this year and almost 16% again in 2026. As hurricane losses push reinsurance prices higher, experts say owners can reduce costs by shopping every renewal, considering home upgrades like a fortified roof and bumping deductibles.
So if you're comfortable with taking a little bit more risk and having a higher deductible, that'll lower your premium over time.
Another round of rate hikes is scheduled for next summer.
And right on time, hurricane season now officially is underway. At the moment, nothing major is developing off the coast, but that could change in the weeks ahead. You can read more about the start of hurricane season and what our team of WRAL meteorologists has forecasted in the months ahead by going right now to WRAL.com.
Yeah, no hurricanes yet, but certainly we've had our share of stormy weather. Now we're into June, but looking back at May, Chris, we've had plenty of stormy days.
Definitely, yeah. The last 5 days have had severe weather outlooked and at least some form of damage in the area. And the 31 days of May, 17 of which had severe weather outlooks from the Storm Prediction Center. Those outlooks now to the west. Reason for that is high pressure that's camped out over us. It kind of acts like a defenseman, so it's blocking any kind of storms from moving in over the next several days. And hey, we've got the soccer tournament starting in Cary on Wednesday, and it looks like the start of that is going to be beautiful with morning temps in the 60s and high temperatures in the 80s by then. And I know some of you maybe have some things you want to take care of, whether it's staining the deck or painting. You need a few dry days for that to happen, and we've got that over the next several days. We'll be good to go through at least Thursday. By Friday, some storms making it back into the forecast. That's when humidity levels and temperatures will really start to rise. Out the door this morning, Roxborough's at 48, Fayetteville 64, Holly Springs and Rocky Mount nice and comfortable at about 58 degrees. And as we take it through the rest of the day, really a picture perfect kind of afternoon for us. Our midday temperatures will be in the mid 70s. Highs today will be in the lower 80s. And when you have that lower humidity, it allows temperatures to drop a little more at night. So first thing out the door tomorrow morning is going to feel nice and comfortable with temperatures at about 50 to 55 around sunrise. Bottle that up. You know the heat and humidity is coming back, and it looks like it'll do so as we go into the later part of the week. So for tomorrow, 55 to 85. Then we go from 60 to 87 Wednesday. Later in the week, nothing extreme, but it is going to start to feel a little bit more like summer. High temperatures each day in the upper 80s and lower 90s. Scattered storm chances beginning Friday and lasting into the weekend. Doesn't look like all-day rains, but something to keep in mind as we look ahead to our weekend plans.
Good time is 4:50 here in the WRAL Live Center. Good morning. I'm Chris Levingood showing you what we're seeing here is this man who was arrested during that aftermath in Boulder, Colorado. This is this man here. His name is Mohammed Solomon, and you'll see the officers there putting him in the back of that squad vehicle. This is after that terror attack, according to investigators, in which quite a few people were injured during that. Investigators say that Solomon was pacing around and yelled, "Free Palestine," in the aftermath of what happened there. Quite a few people had been now since set on fire as a result of this. And coming up at 5 o'clock, I'm going to show you more video of the moment that he was speaking, or rather yelling at some of the witnesses nearby during the aftermath of that event.
All right, Chris, thanks. Still ahead at 5, Catawba County shooting. Multiple agencies are stepping in at the state and federal level after a weekend shooting in our state left one person dead, nearly a dozen others injured. We'll break down what we know.
And subscription cutback. Services can sometimes be taking our money and we don't even know it. 5 on your side's Kelly Arthur shares how cutting down on a few subscriptions can save you hundreds and how you can quickly track down the ones you don't use anymore. Netflix is giving us a sneak peek at some of the streaming platform's most anticipated shows and movies. Douglas Hyde has more in the Hollywood Minute.
Everyone is talking about the comeback kid. Happy Gilmore. Happy Gilmore. Happy Gilmore.
Yes, after nearly 30 years, Happy Gilmore is back in the swing of things. The first full trailer for Happy Gilmore 2 just dropped and shows some new and familiar faces. This time, Happy hits the course to earn money to put his daughter through ballet school. Happy Gilmore 2 tees off on July 25th.
We failed. We need to be ready.
Are you ready for the 5th and final season of Stranger Things? Well, it won't be coming out all at once. Netflix is spreading out the release of the last 8 episodes over the holidays. The first batch streams around Thanksgiving, with more episodes arriving on Christmas Day and New Year's Eve. The action picks up in 1987, more than a year after the events of season 4.
Just a murder. And I solved murders.
Benoit Blanc has a new murder to solve. Daniel Craig's Southern detective returns in Wake Up, Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. No word yet on the plot, but it's being teased as his most dangerous case yet. The 3rd installment in the popular mystery franchise debuts on December 12th. In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
NBC's Nightly News is ushering in a new era tonight. Tom Yamas will make his debut as anchor of the Nightly News program, 6:30 tonight. Yamas began his career at NBC News 25 years ago. He's covered numerous world events to include Pope Francis' funeral, natural disasters, presidential campaigns, and the Olympics. Yamas will anchor Nightly News and become the managing editor of the program. A couple weeks ago, WRAL's Dan Haggerty spoke with Yamas about his new role and what we can expect.
Basically, what it tells the viewers is that I'm going to be involved in every aspect of this show. I like to say I'm going to be involved in every second of this show. And obviously, part of the job is delivering the news and reading what's on the teleprompter, but it's a small part. Most of it is getting out there, reporting, talking to your teams in the field, and making sure we have the best newscast every night for our viewers.
And you can watch NBC's Nightly News with Tom Yamas weeknights, 6:30, immediately following WRAL News at 6 p.m. Still ahead this hour, a mass shooting. The search for suspects this morning after one person was killed, 12 others were injured at a house party in North Carolina.
And firearms at RDU. Today we expect to learn about a recent increase of guns found at security checkpoints at the airport. The security concerns for TSA.
And tournament kickoff. We previewed the soccer tournament ahead of its third year coming to Cary.